Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Crystal here with Our Spring Farm and Country. This is just a continuation of our last video of us expanding the goat pen in the barn. We introduced our new goats last week and showed you that they're expecting, and so we're supposed to have babies here in a few months. So we had a lot of work to do in the shop or the barn. So let me turn this around and show you what we completed since the last video and then update you on what we're gonna do next. So now you can see we've got all the flooring pulled out. In the last video it still had all the wood floor. We're leaving the perimeter around so that the fencing can sit up on it. We also, can't take credit for any of this because James did all this work while I was working, but he's moved up the electrical. It was low enough where the goats would be able to nibble on it, so that wasn't good. So all that's moved up. Lights have been moved around. We've got plugs in more accessible areas that's going to be useful for when we put in the milking stand and a new nesting box and things like that. So right now it looks pretty rough in here. We've got this was the wall that was part of the other pen, but we're going to transform that into the milk stand. We've got to finish clearing this out. It was really nasty under there. We had a nice fat possum living underneath the barn, which has been relocated. Then over here, now you can see the open part here to the other part of the pen. So we are going to move this gate down. It's going to come down further and attach here on the end. So we got to do that and just some odds and ends. And then as we complete this side of the barn and the pen, then we'll start working on this and getting those rubber mats out and breaking up the flooring and getting the wood floor out of there. But we're going to do those in pieces because we don't need to do it all at one time. So we'll just do it as we can. So it'll be some slow progress, but at least pretty soon the goats are going to have at least double the space they've had already. And they're getting along pretty well for the most part. But they are, having their share of dominance here. So the little ones get knocked around a little bit. So I think just having a little bit more space in here, they'll have a little more room to move around, and that's the main goal. And of course, this gate will fence off this area so it becomes the kidding area. So when babies come or we're just milking and we need to separate them for whatever reason, we will have that accessible too. So follow along and we'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so after working just I don't know, hour and a half or so on this, we finally got most of it done. We're pretty happy with it. Let me turn this camera around and show you what we did. So now we've got this open. We've got some straw put down, but we have what that will be is another, goat nesting box, a bunk bed for them to sleep on because they like sleeping up off the ground. And then this one is a little more narrow. So this will become the milking stand. So we will add on, some more wood down here and a bucket for them to feed out of and all the things that make it a milking stand. So we don't need it at the moment. So that is something we can work on possibly this weekend or something. So the only other thing, we finally got this wall finished, looks really good. We're not sure if we got to make it taller. I don't think they could jump over it, but James thinks they may try. Theo likes to try everything. But let's look at this side here. So now, where this gate is, the only thing we have left to do in here is move this gate down to this beam, and we're going to pull it across to here. And then that way this entire section can become the kidding section and also the milk room. When we're milking one, we can close it off. So, hi Elsa, what are you looking at? Hi baby. She's very curious. And then this flooring, we do want to pull out all of this wood eventually, but I don't think that's going to be at the top of the priority now. We do have it out of this area, which I like. It's just the dirt floor underneath it. So now everything we scoop out is just compost where there's nothing that could be rotting under it. We do still have the rubber mats underneath this area. So it's protected. Hey, you two, calm down over there. You've got plenty of food. So it's still protected. So it's not at the top of the list, and the pen is just fine. It's much bigger. So let me come over here and kind of show you this way. All right. So yeah, now it kind of just doubles their space over there. They have a lot more room. We've noticed that they've all been trying to sleep on these other bunk beds, which means the younger ones here kind of getting pushed off and moved to the floor, and they haven't been very happy about it. So now there's a little more space for the older does to enjoy. And of course they like monkeying around, so they've been jumping back and forth through there. So they seem pretty happy with it, and I'm extremely happy with it. So of course, we think pretty certain, 99% sure that Miss Elsa here is expecting. We don't know if she's expecting at the beginning of May or the beginning of June. It depends on if she took on her first breeding or second, because as the previous breeder said, her bag is already starting to fill up. So that's a good sign that maybe she is due sooner than we thought. But we'll know as it gets a little closer. And then we have Cookie here, who I did go ahead and do that home pregnancy test with the urine. And I don't know, it was inconclusive actually. So I don't really know. It wasn't quite the yellow, meaning not pregnant, but it wasn't quite the first color of green, meaning pregnant. It's sort of in between there. So we're not sure. It's kind of a waiting game with her, but that's okay. She would be due somewhere around June 26th if she is pregnant. So she's got plenty of time before then. She'll show some more signs as she gets further along. So we'll keep an eye on her. But yeah, so other than that, I mean, that is pretty much it for us today. We got a lot done in here. The electrical moved up. These goat bunk beds made. All this flooring tore out. The walls put up. All we got left to do is move the gate, which we can do probably tomorrow. And it's pretty much so done in here for now, until we do another project, remodel, expansion. I don't know, we seem to be good at that because this is what, number 3 or number 4 that we have changed something inside this goat pen. So it's ever evolving, just like a farm is. So be prepared to change, because that's what happens. So thanks for following along, everybody. We'll keep you updated on these 2 does, let you know if we do see some more signs that Cookie is pregnant, and just kind of let you see what's going on. So have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.